Thank you, Your Honor. On Friday, October 16, 2015, at approximately 11:16 p.m. hours, Officer Schultz, together with Officer Shane, would witness a vehicle strike a pedestrian on Menor Avenue near Hartshorn Drive, Painesville, Lake County, Ohio. The pedestrian that was struck was a 16-year-old juvenile female, Laura Horton, that officers had just spoken to a short time earlier. Ms. Horton was walking home and was on her way after speaking with the officers. Ms. Horton was crossing Mentor Avenue, which is a short distance from the location where she had been talking with the officers. And when she got into the westbound lane of traffic, after she crossed the eastbound lane of traffic, she was struck by a vehicle traveling westbound. The vehicle did not stop after the accident and left the scene. Officer Schultz and other Painesville police officers arrived at the scene practically immediately because they were in a very short eye distance proximity to the accident and initially attended to Ms. Horton, who was lying on the roadway, right practically in front of her house because she lives right there. The fire department would arrive on the scene just a few minutes later and would treat her and transport Ms. Horton to the hospital. Ms. Horton would be treated initially at Hillcrest Hospital and then would be transferred to Metro Health Medical Center for further treatment and many severe injuries. The Painesville Police Department would later locate the suspect vehicle, a green Jaguar that was parked behind Riders Inn at or very near to the scene of this incident, which is a very short distance from the accident scene. The vehicle was registered to a Mr. Frederick Lawson, and Mr. Lawson was unable to be located at that time. Painesville Police would attempt to locate Mr. Lawson by several different means, and Lawson was unable to be located until about 9:30 hours on October 17 or the next morning. Lawson did not wish to make a statement, and he was taken into custody and turned into the Lake County Jail at that time. The investigation continued and would determine that Mr. Lawson was in fact driving westbound on Menor Avenue and struck Ms. Horton while she was crossing the street. Ms. Lawson had been traveling on Menor Avenue in an attempt to locate a friend that she had walked away. Lawson had been traveling on Mentor Avenue in an attempt to locate a female friend that had walked away from the Riders Inn. Painesville Police Department and the investigators would interview several friends of Lawson, and they stated that he had been drinking, but there was no test performed because he was not found until the next morning. The investigators would learn that he had returned to Riders Inn after striking Ms. Horton and ordered 2 more alcoholic drinks prior to leaving with the friend.